I know it sounds silly, but here we are a year into the new generation, and things really have kind of changed more recently than I would have imagined. Of course, I could sit there and say, hey, well, compare the games and things like that, and I think that that would be a little bit disingenuous because PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, they split which one plays the games better most of the time. And even when one of them does have the edge, it's so minuscule that it's not even worth mentioning. So this isn't necessarily a video about that, but just in general, the things that help the Xbox Series X really kind of shine. And I think that you guys will probably enjoy the video, although I'm sure it'll get, some hate too. But what else is new? But hey, what's up, everyone? I'm Crapgamer, of course. This is Crapgamer Reviews, your home for gaming news, opinions, reviews, and much more. You'll probably notice a few cool changes around here, but that shouldn't stop you from giving us a like and possibly consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. Thank you so much for choosing to spend some of your free time with me and this silly YouTube channel. Happy Thanksgiving to all those that celebrate. What a crazy year. There's always stuff to be thankful for, and I just want to take this minute to say thank you guys so much. I'm thankful for you. So yeah, awesome. Hopefully you guys all have great days with your families and things like that. Now, don't get me wrong, the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, both great, fantastic consoles. In fact, the PlayStation 5 has a couple of edges in my opinion, which is the controller is totally redone and totally redesigned and fantastic. They have the 3D audio, and of course the UI is totally rebuilt. Now, the other thing is with the Xbox, they didn't really have to do much. I mean, they built kind of a bare bones type of console, which is cool. I like, it's not anything fancy or whatever, but, it gets the job done. It's quiet, it's efficient, it's powerful, and, they've just done a really good job with it. And I think that, the fact that they finally get around to updating the UI and with everybody in the preview program and stuff like that, I think they've done a good job with it. The things that they've done where they make it seem like more than just a new console, which is, and this is kind of stuff maybe I poked fun at in the past, but updating the older games I think is very key to being able to do this. I think that the fact that they're allowing you to do that, I think also the fact that they're kind of the smart delivery stuff really does work extremely well. And I'll say not even just smart delivery, F that, who cares about that, right? But the save system, right, is such a brilliant feature. Like, I don't know what the deal is with half the games that I started on my PlayStation 4 Pro, and then I go to play the game on the PS5, and there's no save file or can't locate the save file or whatever. I hate that, right? It's so, like with Xbox, man, I tell you what, I have an Xbox Series S and an Xbox One X still. I can start playing one game on one in the living room, and then cut that off, and then come in my bedroom and then pick up right where I left off. I mean, that's ingenious. I don't understand the difficulty with doing that with PlayStation. It just seems like such a hassle sometimes. I'd also point out the fact that they were able to really accomplish some good stuff with instant resume. It doesn't always work, and it doesn't work with every title, but when it does work, I feel like it's just a fantastic thing and really just a wonder, to be quite honest with you. Just really doing some good stuff. And overall, they really started bad with the games. Just because I'm like an Xbox quote-unquote fanboy, again, doesn't mean that I can sit there and go, oh yeah, they had a ton of great games. No, they didn't have a ton of great games, nothing like that. They had next to nothing. They had, next to nothing. And I'm not going to sit there and hype up Falconeer and Gears Tactics and things like that, because that would be ridiculous for me to do that. It just, those games aren't great. Those games just are not a reason to own one. Now, you get into the Forzas, you get into the Halos, you get into, next year with, hopefully with some other stuff. I'm hoping that they didn't have everything announced, but, Starfield obviously is going to be huge. And I think, don't get me wrong, I've said this a million times, the PlayStation 5 could possibly have the best year ever for Sony in terms of exclusive games in 1 year. I mean, anytime you're launching Gran Turismo, a God of War, and a Horizon game in the same year, plus new IP from third parties like Ghostwire Tokyo, and even clearly with Forspoken, just huge games, like that's a great lineup. They on paper right now have a much better lineup than Xbox, but I still think Xbox is taking the intangibles and moving up a lot in the world in terms with what they have to offer. So yeah, they've done a fantastic job with that. It just feels like a console that's on the rise, and I think, you know, the PlayStation 5, I think we'll probably get some really good stuff from that next year. But I feel like a lot of the positivity and stuff is going to come, you know, back to to Xbox. I feel like they're going to continue to get the media bump. I figure they're going to be, you know, there's going to be so much going on. It's just going to be crazy to see the announcements that they have. You know, they're still doing E3, so people know I like a lot of traditional stuff. Well, I'm hoping next year they do a live E3, you know, and I still think Sony's not going to do that. I feel like Sony has kind of gotten away from their interactions with the fans and stuff, and they just kind of do the little stuff. But yeah, you know, I think that it's crazy to think how far the Xbox has gone in 1 year. You know, it's really just done a fantastic job with kind of going out there and just perform the way that it has, and offer the things that they've done. And that's kudos to them. They just made a really kind of seamless, fun thing. And even though when you first plug it in, if you were coming from an Xbox One or an Xbox One X, it might not feel like a huge next-gen upgrade or anything, but they really did. Just especially now, you know, I know like it takes into a year or whatever, and yeah, that's to be accounted for. Like, you know, everybody, to be honest with you, kind of looks at this stuff and goes, okay, well, you know, Microsoft and Sony, they're actually competing with each other. And I think the fact that, you know, Microsoft has, you know, stuck around even with, you know, the shortages, and Sony's having shortages, and here we are. I would love to see where these consoles are without any shortages, and I'm sure that it would probably definitely both be over 10 million, and PlayStation 5 possibly even 20 million, but Xbox would probably be close to 15 million itself. I think that people in general are really coming around, and you can't really ask for much more than that, to be honest with you. Like, people honestly are just going to go out there and just have a very much a fantastic kind of thing to kind of showcase. I love that. We can all get so excited by what these companies are doing, and that's a fantastic thing. I mean, look, little things like Microsoft's virtual Xbox 20th anniversary museum, where you can check your stats and stuff and take you back to like the first game you played or this or that. Man, how awesome is that, right? That's just a really cool thing, you know. And I'm not knocking PlayStation, like, people don't understand, but I think that when you're talking about the future, it'd be hard to discount, you know, the Fables, the Perfect Darks, the, you know, the Forzas, the Halo updates, the next Gears, whatever else the Coalition's working on, you know, Avowed. These games are just going to be heavy hitters, and seeing, you know, Microsoft really come out with these big AAA, you know, type RPGs is going to be great, because I felt like this generation really lacked those games. And so those are the type of games that I really enjoy, and I think Microsoft has set themselves up extremely well to do that. They've got, you know, always have had a great controller, and, you know, they got a really fast UI. Everything they're doing right now seems to be working incredibly well in their favor. So yeah, very cool stuff. With that being said, I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think. Do you feel that the Xbox has made a lot of strides in year one? If so, sound off, rate, comment, subscribe, rack them up, fact them up, Crapgamer them up, Crapgamer out.